Greetings, gamer girls! I am Celestine, also known as Complex999, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. A couple people asked me, Celeste, how do you make your Pokemon bios? What program do you use? It's actually pretty simple. I don't use any, complex program. So today, I am going to show you how I make my Pokemon bios. So first, I open up two windows of Microsoft Paint. I keep the first one blank, and then for the second window, I head to what's called Pokemon LPs, and then I go to Energy, and then I go to Backgrounds. What I do is I click on the type of the Pokemon that I'm looking for. In this case, I'm looking for the normal type, and I copy it there I select all and copy it into the first window. Then I open the second window back up and head to Pokemon, not Pokemon Info, I've been meaning to rename this. And I head to I open up Pokemon Info. It's supposed to be Bios, but whatever. And then I open up one folder, and I open up the template that I use for the BIOS. Then I paste it into the transparent, paste it into the second window. Then what I do is I pull up Bulbapedia, and I write down what the Pokemon is and what their number is. In this case, well, I set the font size to 30, but you can do whatever you want. But I also do the font Tahama, or whatever. And I do the Pokedex number that it is. First I do the Kanto Pokedex, and then I do the National Pokedex, 35. Then I make another window box and set the size to 40, and then I write the name of the Pokemon. Then I switch the font size to 20, and I write down the Pokemon's category. Then what I do is I go down to height and weight. I'm using Bulbapedia for this. I set the font size to 15, and then I write the Pokemon's height and weight down. And I don't put the pounds there because that kind of made it a little too small. No worries. Then I work on it. Well, actually, I probably should have done this before, but what I do now is I open up the energy, and then I put the energy symbol into the first window under its type. If it's a unique type, then I write down unique type for its evolution family. But if it's a unique type for the Pokemon, only the Pokemon itself, I write down very unique type. But this Pokemon is not a very unique type. So then what I do is I work on what's down here. But because this Pokemon appears in multiple floors of the same place, normally I would do, I would do this, but because this Pokemon appears on multiple floors, then I'm going to do something different. I put the catch rate down, which this one is 150 of 255. Then I make the text window and set this font size to 8. And then they pull up the place where the Pokemon is found. Let's see. On level 1, its initial level is 8. On sub-level 1, its initial level is 9. And on sub-level 2, its initial level is 10 or 12. Rarity. On sub-level 1, its rarity is 1%. I mean, level 1, not sub-level 1. On on sub-level 1, its rarity is 4%. And on sub-level 2, its rarity is 6%. Next, what I do is I work on its evolution, but the evolution, but this evolution family only has one. This Pokemon only evolves once. So what I do is I remove one arrow, then I take the color of the width of the box and I fill in the part that was there before. I know it looks like it's just pure white, but I actually did that for good reason. I made it just slightly darker. You can't even notice it. Then I move this arrow to the middle, and I fill in this part. Next I set the font size to 10, and I write down how they evolve. Now what I do is I open up the Pixelmon. This is easily the worst pun I've made in a long time. And I get the full picture of the Pokemon. And I stick it in. Sometimes it has some white parts in like the body, and since I use the transparent selection, you can see through its eyes. To fix that, I simply open up the edit colors and then put this arrow down slightly below, and yeah, then I just fill in that area. But because this one doesn't have any part like that, it's not a good example. Now what I do is I open up the sprite from the game, and I put the first one and I put them in the evolution, as well as its evolved form. Now we're gonna work on the stats. So first of all, I zoom in a little bit. Well, actually, no, it's probably better if you do this zoomed out, at least the text part. And I set the font size to 15. And on Bulbapedia, I look at the Pokemon stats for this generation, at least. In this Pokemon's case, its health is 70, its attack is 45, its defense is 48, its special is 60, and its speed is 35. Now what I do is do an estimation of the bars. So I open up the, what's it called? I select the rectangle, and for health I select red. Oh wait, hold up, too big. I make sure it fills in the like the square. And for 70, I would put it, let's say around here, let's say. And I use the health as an example for well, not really example, just insert word here. For the other stats, for 45, where would I put it? I'd say somewhere around here. For defense, I'll put it right there. Special. And let's say put it right there. Oh, and it seems there's the shade of blue I'm looking for isn't here. Well, that's fine. I just go into edit color, select that, and yeah, there we go. And we'll put around there. Then I just fill them in. Then I zoom out, and I hit save, and then I head to the game that we're looking for. 19, Clefairy. And presto, we have made our Pokemon bio. Oh, wait, hold up. presto! We have made our Pokemon bio. So if you guys are wanting to make a detailed Pokemon Let's Play, use this video to your advantage, and maybe you can make your own Pokemon bios. So, yeah. Well, this is for Generation 1, at least. When we do the Generation 2 games and stuff like that, there will be even more information, and I can give you an example of that. Let's say, like, right here. This would be an example of the Generation 2. Except this one's a little bit outdated. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys like this little tutorial of how I make my Pokemon bios. I will see you guys in the next video, and as always, remember to smile. You are the face of Clone Collects 9999 Gaming. Goodbye.